Hey guys, it's Jay and Dave here. What we thought we would do for the strength and conditioning classes is actually hold like a mini clip each week on a different topic. We'll see how this goes, and what we want you guys to do is actually throw questions back where we can continue the conversation, whether that's via the loop, whether that's via email. I'm sure each class will be able to work this out. But the topic today, and I'm really interested in this one as well, and I wanted to ask Boyle his opinion, but mobility. Mobility is a key term at the moment. I don't really know too much, Boyle. So mobility, what's your opinion on it?
Interesting question, Jay, and it's probably something as coaches we've really endeavoured to try to get our athletes to buy in on the mobility. So you become very mobile at 4 years old, and somewhere between 4 and 14 we lose a lot of the mobility, and it's something that a good strength and conditioning coach will put into the program. So mobility is really important in, say, contact sports.
Yeah.
I know yourself struggles a little bit with thoracic mobility and shoulder mobility.
Definitely.
And it catches up on us. So we need to put that into our programs and get good range of movement for our specific sports, but also for our lifts. So if you're doing a snatch or if you're doing an overhead squat, you need a lot of shoulder mobility and thoracic mobility. And that's something that we pick up in our functional movement screens. On a personal basis, I had to decide at 50 whether I was going to do reverse curls for power cleans, and whether I was going to do a standing incline press instead of a military press, and strengthen the lower back, or really get functional. So that's one of our challenges as coaches, to race against time, to try to get that message across to our athletes that mobility is very important for the sport, and we need to reciprocate mobility for the sport that we need.
What I find interesting, right, is how do you dress mobility up and make it look appealing or make it look sexy for athletes? Because it's normally one of the things that they just throw to the side sometimes. So as an S&C coach, how do we drive that?
Well, I think that the beauty we've got now is with Huddle and social media, is that we can film a lot of things. So there's a movie out there with Al Pacino, On Any Given Sunday, and it's interesting because movies actually do a lot of research. So 1 second too fast, 1 second's too slow. So when we want to go into a tackle or when we want to go into a block, then we want to use our shoulders. If we don't get in to make the tackle or the block with our shoulders and we come out here and we're not strong in that area, that's going to sublux the shoulder. Well, if we go and score a try and put the ball down or someone tackles us and we can't have them get that range of movement, then we're in a lot of trouble because we sublux the shoulder. So I think if you can really relate it to the sport that they're playing, you'll get a lot more buy-in from the athletes.
Sure. Another question that I have for you, because you mentioned it before that there was a certain time that you had your career in sport and then high performance managing and all that sort of stuff, but you then flicked the switch and decided that the mobility was quite important. What's the key principles that you believe are important in regards to mobility? For somebody like myself who's struggling, what's the key things that you need to do straight away in order to improve it?
You've got to go back to the basics.
Yep.
And when we talk about mobility, we're really relating it to good technique. So if you don't get a high enough knee lift when you're running, then you're not going to be able to promote enough power. So you need to get that mobility. So a lot of people have a lot of glutes, and if we don't have that good technique, we're not moving efficiently. So we need that mobility to be efficient. And we need to, as coaches, we need to know the good coaching cues and to know the actual good positioning, and then we need to know to regress how they learn it or progress once they get to a certain stage. I'm not sure whether that makes sense, but if you're really efficient at something, you're conserving energy, you're going to be faster, or you're going to be able to jump higher, you're going to get a better result out of any physical activity that you partake in.
Yeah, and I've said it before to all the students, and I know I've heard you say it as well, but you've obviously got to regress to progress. Final thing in regards to mobility is what's your improvements been like training wise? What have you noticed yourself training, besides the obvious of I can now do things better? But how is there any unique or weird ways that it's supported and helped you?
I love surfing.
Yep.
I always have, but to play football, it's totally different.
Of course.
All the different mobility and things like that. So now that I've got more time and the lights turned on 50 years later, that I'm starting to do mobility, my surfing's going pretty good. So I've worked on my mobility and my flexibility, and my surfing's going okay. I still have my face powers, but yeah, I've been really happy with it. And you'd be able to, I can coach better because I can move better.
I think that's the key there, coaching better. Of course, it helps us individually, but also for these guys as strength and conditioning coaches. Well, there we go, team. I hope just that real short clip of some knowledge, I guess, in regards to mobility. We're interested to really hear your thoughts, so we want to hear your questions. Let us know. More importantly, let's go one step further. Provide video. Send a video back of some mobility work that you might be doing. Send some questions. If you want to design a mobility session, anything like that, send it back and let's brainstorm these ideas together. So I guess this video is mobility, and I'm sure in the coming weeks we'll come up with another idea and we'll go from there.
Yeah, Jay, well, I've got an indefinite period of a holiday rather than coaching here, so yeah, send those videos in, guys, and ask questions. And let's make a good use of the time that we've got. Turn something really bad into something really powerful and really good.
Fantastic. There we go, guys. That's mobility for this week. We'll talk to you soon.